At first glance, this structure appears stable and permanent. However, its location presents a set of conditions that make its construction unusually complex. The statue stands at an altitude of approximately 700 meters above sea level, on a narrow granite peak overlooking Rio de Janeiro. This peak is not a flat construction site. It is steep, uneven, and continuously exposed to strong environmental forces. Wind speeds in this area can exceed 200 kilometers per hour, particularly during seasonal storms. Despite these conditions, the structure supports more than 1,000 tons of reinforced concrete. From an engineering perspective, this raises an immediate question. How can a structure of this scale remain stable in such an exposed location? To answer that, it is necessary to examine how the project began. In 1921, Brazil was preparing to commemorate the centenary of its independence. As part of this milestone, there was a proposal to construct a national monument that would be visible across the city. Corcovado Mountain was selected as the preferred site due to its elevation and panoramic visibility. From this position, any structure placed at the summit would become a defining element of the skyline. However, this visibility came at a cost. The mountain is composed of solid granite, with steep slopes and limited access routes. It is also surrounded by dense vegetation and subject to rapid weather changes. These factors meant that the location was not only prominent, but also technically demanding for large-scale construction. The project was led by engineer Heitor da Silva Costa. His initial design proposed a statue holding a cross and a globe. This concept aimed to combine religious symbolism with a representation of the world. However, the design received strong criticism. Many considered it visually unbalanced and overly complex. As a result, the proposal was rejected, and a new direction was required. This early setback played an important role in shaping the final outcome. It shifted the focus toward simplicity, clarity, and structural efficiency. The revised design introduced a more integrated concept. Instead of holding a cross, the figure itself was designed to form a cross shape. This approach aligned with Art Deco principles, which emphasize geometric forms, clean lines, and structural coherence. From a visual perspective, the design appeared balanced and easily recognizable. However, from an engineering standpoint, it introduced a new challenge. The horizontal arms extended outward without vertical support. This configuration meant that the structure would be directly exposed to lateral wind forces. Designing a system that could withstand these forces became a central concern for the engineering team. One of the most important decisions in the project was the selection of construction material. At the time, steel was widely used for large structures. It offered high tensile strength and had been successfully applied in projects such as large towers and bridges. However, the environmental conditions at Corcovado introduced a limitation. The combination of humidity, rainfall, and exposure to salt air would accelerate corrosion. Maintaining a steel structure under these conditions would require continuous upkeep. Instead, reinforced concrete was selected. This material combines concrete with internal steel reinforcement, providing both compressive strength and structural stability. It also offers greater resistance to environmental degradation, making it more suitable for long-term exposure. The structural calculations were carried out by Albert Caquop, a French engineer known for his expertise in structural analysis. The challenge was not limited to supporting the weight of the structure, which exceeded 1,100 tons. It also involved calculating the effects of wind pressure on an elevated, exposed form. The arms of the statue, due to their horizontal orientation, act as surfaces that interact directly with airflow. During strong winds, These surfaces experience significant lateral forces. To address this, the internal framework was designed to distribute loads efficiently throughout the structure and into the foundation. This required precise calculations to ensure long-term stability under variable conditions. While structural planning took place in Brazil, the artistic components were developed in France. Sculptor Paul Landowski was responsible for shaping the visual form of the statue. He created full-scale models of key elements, including the head and hands. These models were divided into sections and transported to Rio de Janeiro. At the construction site, they were reassembled using reinforced concrete. This process required a high level of precision. Even small alignment errors at lower sections could result in significant deviations at the top of the structure. Access to the construction site was limited. There were no direct roads leading to the summit. The primary transport route was a railway system that connected the base of the mountain to the top. All materials, including cement, sand, water, and structural components, had to be transported using this route. At the summit, available space was extremely limited. Large-scale storage was not possible. As a result, construction followed a continuous cycle where materials delivered during the day were used immediately. This required careful coordination and precise scheduling. The working environment presented additional challenges. Weather conditions could change rapidly. Cloud cover often reduced visibility, and surfaces became slippery due to moisture. Despite these risks, the construction process was completed without recorded fatalities. This outcome reflects a high level of organization and operational control throughout the project. Although the exterior appears solid, the structure is hollow. Internally, it consists of a network of reinforced columns and beams. These elements work together to transfer loads from the upper sections down to the foundation. The foundation itself is anchored directly into the granite base of the mountain. This connection provides stability and ensures that the structure remains securely positioned despite external forces. An internal staircase runs through the structure, providing access to different sections. This allows for inspection, maintenance, and structural monitoring over time. Within the chest area, a small internal feature was incorporated as part of the design. This element is not visible from the outside, but reflects the attention to detail applied throughout the project. Reinforced concrete provides strength, but it is also porous and can be affected by long-term environmental exposure. To protect the structure, an outer layer of soapstone was applied. This material was sourced from Minas Gerais. Soapstone is relatively soft when extracted, which allows it to be shaped easily. Over time, it hardens and becomes more resistant to weather conditions. The surface covering is composed of approximately 6 million small tiles. Each tile is triangular in shape and relatively small in size. Rather than applying each piece individually, the tiles were arranged on sheets before installation. These sheets were then attached to the structure, allowing for consistent placement across curved surfaces. This method improved efficiency and ensured uniform coverage across the entire exterior. Due to its elevation, the structure is frequently exposed to lightning strikes. This presents a significant risk to both the surface materials and internal components. To address this, a protection system was integrated into the design. The internal structure acts as a conductive path, allowing electrical energy to pass safely through the framework and into the ground. Lightning rods are positioned at key points, including the head and the hands. This system reduces the risk of structural damage during electrical storms. Despite these protections, some damage can still occur. When this happens, sections of the outer surface are repaired or replaced. Maintenance work is carried out by trained personnel using specialized access techniques. Replacement materials are sourced from the same region as the original stone to maintain consistency. The structure was completed in 1931. Upon completion, it became one of the most recognizable landmarks in the world. It represents a combination of structural engineering and large-scale sculpture. The project required nearly a decade of construction, along with careful planning, coordination, and execution. It demonstrates how engineering decisions must consider materials, environmental conditions, and structural design as a unified system. The structure continues to function as both a technical achievement and a cultural landmark.